Greetings, fellow gardeners and worm wranglers. Welcome back to the Humus Heritage, where we dig deep into the secrets of soil fertility and sustainable gardening. Today, I'm thrilled to share a discovery that's been transforming worm bins and garden beds alike, one that's been hiding in plain sight at rice mills and agricultural centers everywhere. If you've been vermicomposting for years and feel like you've plateaued, or if you're just starting out and want to build the most productive system possible from day one, what I'm about to reveal will change everything you thought you knew about creating premium worm castings. Let's be honest, most of us follow the standard vermicomposting playbook. We shred newspaper, tear up cardboard boxes, maybe add some coconut coir if we're feeling fancy, toss in our kitchen scraps, and wait for our worms to work their magic. And it works, to a point. But what if I told you that traditional vermicomposting setups are leaving significant potential on the table? What if there's a simple ingredient that costs next to nothing, often considered agricultural waste, that could supercharge your worm bin into a fertilizer production powerhouse? The transformation I'm talking about isn't subtle. We're discussing dramatically richer castings, healthier and more productive worms, and a finished product that makes your plants respond like the sheer base, waiting their entire lives for this level of nutrition. The secret ingredient I'm referring to has been used in Asian agriculture for centuries, yet Western gardeners have only recently begun to understand its true potential in vermicomposting systems. Rice hulls, those protective outer layers removed during rice milling, possess a unique cellular structure that makes them absolutely perfect for creating the ideal worm habitat. Unlike other bedding materials that quickly break down into mush or compact into airless layers, rice hulls maintain their rigid, boat-like shape for months. This durability comes from their high silica content, which gives them an almost ceramic quality. But here's where things get interesting. Rice hulls aren't just passive bedding material sitting inertly in your bin, they become an active catalyst for biological transformation. The carbon-rich composition of rice hulls provides the perfect scaffold for beneficial fungi to colonize and thrive. These fungal networks begin breaking down the tough outer layers while simultaneously creating a microbe-rich environment that worms absolutely thrive in. As fungi and bacteria feast on the hulls, they multiply exponentially, and your worms in turn consume these microorganisms along with the partially decomposed hull material. This creates a self-perpetuating cycle of microbial activity that produces castings far superior to conventional methods. The silica content doesn't disappear either, it becomes bioavailable through the decomposition process and ends up in your worm castings, eventually strengthening plant cell walls and improving disease resistance in your garden. Scientific studies have shown that vermicompost enhanced with rice hull substrates contains higher concentrations of beneficial microorganisms and exhibits improved soil conditioning properties compared to standard bedding materials. Integrating rice hulls into your vermicomposting system is surprisingly straightforward, though attention to detail makes all the difference between good results and spectacular ones. The first critical step is proper hydration. Rice hulls are naturally hydrophobic due to their waxy coating, so you'll need to soak them overnight before introducing them to your bin. This ensures they won't wick moisture away from your worms or create dry pockets in your bedding. Once thoroughly moistened to that ideal wrung-out sponge consistency, you can begin building your worm paradise. The optimal ratio for incorporating rice hulls is between 10 and 50% of your total bedding volume, mixed thoroughly with your existing materials, like shredded cardboard, paper, or coconut coir. This proportion provides enough structural benefit without overwhelming the system. The key lies in the layering technique, alternate layers of your nitrogen-rich materials, kitchen scraps, coffee grounds, or aged manure. With your carbon-rich rice hull bedding mix, think of it like building a lasagna, where each layer contributes to the overall structure and function. This prevents nitrogen depletion, which could occur if you used rice hulls in isolation due to their high carbon-to-nitrogen ratio. Aim for roughly a 2-to-1 ratio of carbon materials to nitrogen inputs to maintain the biological balance your worms need to thrive. The changes you'll observe in your worm bin after implementing rice hulls are nothing short of remarkable. Within just a few weeks, you'll notice the texture of your vermicompost becoming noticeably fluffier and more granular, with none of that dense, compacted quality that plagues traditional systems. The worms themselves become visibly more active and plump, which are clear indicators of optimal health and nutrition. Population growth actually accelerates as reproduction rates increase in response to the abundant food supply and, those ideal habitat conditions. But, honestly, the real magic happens in the castings themselves. Rice hull-enhanced worm castings possess a distinctive crumbly texture that feels alive in your hands, neither too wet nor too dry, but perfectly balanced with excellent structure. The color deepens to a rich, dark, chocolate brown, and the earthy aroma intensifies, signaling high microbial activity. When you use these premium castings in your garden, the results really speak for themselves. More vigorous growth, deeper green foliage, improved flowering and fruiting, and, notably enhanced resistance to environmental stresses. The journey from worm bin to garden bed completes the circle of sustainable fertility. Apply your rice hull-enhanced castings as a top dressing around established plants, work them into soil before planting, or brew them into nutrient-dense compost tea for liquid feeding. The sustainable impact extends beyond your garden fence too. By utilizing rice hulls, an abundant agricultural byproduct that often goes to waste, you're participating in a circular economy that reduces environmental burden while building soil health. Every batch of premium vermicompost you create is a testament to working with nature rather than against it, transforming would-be waste into gardening gold. If you found this guide valuable, don't keep this rice hull secret to yourself. Hit that subscribe button to join the Humus Heritage community, where we continue exploring innovative, sustainable approaches to gardening. Share this video with fellow gardeners who are ready to take their vermicomposting to the next level and, hey, drop a comment below sharing your own rice hull experiments and results. Together, we're building a greener, more fertile future, one worm bin at a time.